Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I made this sample from scratch. And I turned that sample into this beat. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what you want to hear next. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so to start with, I start with these chords here, which were just some basic 7th chords. Kind of tweaked it until it sounded good really, and that sounded like this. Okay, I left that without any effects on it. Then I copied the exact same pattern into Pigments. Opened up the Sample Engine 2 section and added 5 different samples in here and put that onto Round Robin. So essentially it gives this really nice kind of textured, bouncing feeling. You get really nice textured artifacts in the background. And together with the pad, that sounded like this. It's really nice. You can hear kind of people talking in the background, weird stabs. Yeah, I thought that added a lot of character into the sample, kind of made it sound quite unique, quite different, and also gave that a vintage kind of feel, that nostalgic feel to it. Cool, so the third thing I added was a bass. I used a dark Reese from Analog Labs, and the bass just runs along the root notes and essentially just bounces here and there to give a little bit more interest. So altogether that sounded like this. Really nice, really started to hear Partynextdoor on this. So now we had the kind of structure and the foundation, it was really coming together. So essentially now I just wanted to add some different accents and counter melodies just to kind of fill out the melody a little bit more and give myself some options when we're dividing the sections up. I didn't process any of those sounds at all, I just let them dry. Only thing I did do is bring them to stereo, both the chords. So the fourth thing I added was this little pad from Analog Labs, Ambient Synth Heaven preset, and that sounded like this. I think I added a portal onto that, which sounded like this. Reflections preset. Just gives it a little bit more width. And I also added a fruity panamatic just to make it go left and right, to fill out that space slightly more. The fifth thing I added was this weird lead. To that I added a portal. Midnight Walk. It's less intense, less abrasive, less in your face. More of an interesting background sound, to be honest. And the sixth thing I added was a bell pad type of thing. That sounded like this originally. And I added a portal again to that. Sleep cycle preset. Cool, and I thought that added again a little bit of ambience, a little bit of tension. So the seventh thing I added, and probably my favourite part of the sample, was the vocal. So I essentially started with this vocal loop here.
I can't get you off of my mind. I can't get you off of my mind.
This was taken from Splice.
I think about you all the time.
Pitched up 700 semitones.
About you all the time.
It was a little bit basic, so I kind of wanted to sauce it up a little bit. Then I took that into Fruity Slicer, which sounded like this. And that just added a lot of bounce. Sounds like something you'd hear Che Ecru on, Partynextdoor, and that filled out the sample quite nicely. So after that, I added a really subtle hi-hat to just complement the vocal, just kind of add a slight bit of bounce in the background. Really subtle. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it just adds a little bit into the sample, and you'll see once you hear it in total. Yeah, so from there I basically recorded everything out and just divided them into different sections. Added a chorus, a verse, and then a bit of an additional part there that can be used for like a bridge potentially. And that sounded like this. The lead coming in, the bells. Remove the sample, the vocal sample, and add the vocal sample back in. And yeah, after that point, I essentially just rendered it all out. I just added a fruity limiter and made sure the ceiling wasn't too high and lowered the gain ever so slightly. So yeah, that's basically the sample. So I took the sample, made a beat out of it. Let me show you how I did that. So essentially, I started off with a clap and a snare, alternating each time. And that was just some basic vintage verb. Then I added some hi-hats, quite a simple pattern, kind of having that triplet bounce, and that sounded like this. Along with a snare and a clap went quite nicely. Then I also added some effect tricks on there, a simple reverse. Again, just adds a slight bit of bounce. So I pitched the sample down 100 semitones alongside the clap, the snare, and the hi-hats that sounded like this. Nice. Then I added another hi-hat after this. Just adding another little bounce to it. Then just added a little hi-hat roll. Adds a little bit of bounce towards the end. Then I added some extra snares and percussion, and that sounded like this. Also stacked that with another snare here, just on the offbeat. So then I grabbed the sub bass from my original sample, I took it out and put it into its own mix channel and essentially just used that as the main bass for the chorus. And then to finish off the chorus, I added a kick, which sounded like this. And that was basically the chorus. Of course, I had the chorus down, but I wanted to add a little bit of variation. So the verse, I created some different drums, some different 808s. And that verse section sounded like this. So the same patterns, but I divided the drums up. And a little cut there as well, just some extra bounce. Probably the most interesting part of this verse section was the 808s, and those sound like this together. And the key for this was just making sure the envelopes were all brought down, the hold was at 100% and everything else was brought down to 0 on both the different 808s, and then making sure they're cut themselves so they're not bleeding into each other. And then it's just the bridge section, which was here. Essentially, I just added a little sweep and I added the bass section back in and then a little riser, which sounded like this. And a bit of silence there. So yeah, that's basically the beat. That's what it sounded like in total. Essentially, yeah, it was quite simple drums, 2 sections there. I kind of wanted that Che Ecru, Partynextdoor Drake kind of feel, the slightly ambient, slightly different alternate drums with a triplet kind of bounce. So yeah guys, that's basically it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the sample and the beat. If you did, please drop a like, let me know what you want to see next, subscribe, notifications, all that good stuff. In the description I've left a link to my sample channel. We're posting a lot more regularly on there, new samples, drum kits coming, everything's coming, so stay tuned over the summer. Really looking forward to pumping out a load more content and taking you guys along with me for the journey. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.